So this is where we are going to do the guided practice. The first thing you're going to need to do is download a copy of the practice. Once you've done that, you can either print it out and work directly on the paper, or you can just use a blank piece of paper to solve the problems. You're going to complete each problem of the guided practice, pause the video before the solution is given, and try to solve each problem. Unpause it if you get stuck, or to check if you are correct. Here we go. This is number 1 for the guided practice of 11.1. Subtract using mental math. Use models if needed. So here's our model. 2 flats, 1 rod, and 4 units. So we have 214. Now if we're going to subtract 10, we're going to remove one of the rods because that's the tens place. So we would end up having 200 with no rods and 4 units, 204. So 214 minus 10 is 204. Now if we go back to having 214, and we subtract 100, we're going to be getting rid of a flat. So now we only have 1 flat, 1 rod, and 4 units, and that is 114. So what we're doing when we're subtracting 10, we're taking the tens place value and subtracting 1 from that. When we're subtracting 100, we're taking the hundreds place value and subtracting 1 from that. Pause the video, solve the next problem, unpause if you are stuck, or to check your work. This is guided practice number 2 from 11.1. Now it doesn't give us the total that we have with this model. So we have 5 flats, we have 2 rods, and we have 5 units. So we have 525. If we subtract 10 from 525, we're going to be keeping the other place values the same. So if I have 3 blank place values here, the hundreds place value will stay the same, the ones place value will stay the same, and the tens place value will go down by 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1. Now we're going to minus 100. So we have 525 minus 100. Have our 3 place values here. Our tens place value and our ones place value are going to stay the same because of the zeros in those place values. We have a 1 in the hundreds place value, so 5 minus 1 equals 4. So 525 minus 100 equals 425. Pause the video, solve the next problem, unpause if you are stuck, or to check your work. Now we have problem number 3, 738 minus 10. We do the same thing that I did previously. We have 3 place values. We have hundreds, tens, and ones. I'm subtracting 10. That's 1 from the tens place value. So the hundreds place value stays the same. The ones place value stays the same. But the tens place value goes down by 1. So 3 minus 1 is 2. Again, same thing here. We've got 3 place values. 738 minus 100. We have zeros in the tens place and the ones place, so they're going to stay the same. The only place value that we have a number other than 0 in is the hundreds place value, which is a 1. So 7 minus 1, or 700 minus 100, is 600. So 738 minus 100 equals 638. Pause the video, solve the next problem, unpause if you are stuck, or to check your work. This is number 4. And this one is a bit tricky. So I am going to go ahead and use the models because I think we might need them. So 100 is 1 flat. 100 minus 10. I can't take a rod because I don't have any here. But what I can do is I can break this flat up into 10 rods. It's still going to be the same thing. So 100 is the same thing as 10 tens. So if I take 1 10 away, I have 9 tens left over. So I have 90. Now if I have a flat and I take 100 away and take a flat away, I'm going to have 0. So that one was pretty easy. But when we're crossing centuries, what's what that's called, when we're going from 100 down to no hundreds, as in the 90 here, that gets a little tricky. So when it gets tricky, use a model to help you visualize what you're doing. And that's okay to use models. And that's it for the guided practice.